Once upon a time, in a bright and peaceful land, stood a shining white castle. Inside the castle lived the kind and gentle Princess Snow White. She lived happily with her husband, the brave Prince Antoine. They ruled the kingdom with kindness, and everyone loved them dearly. But far beyond the mountains, hidden in a dark cave, lived Queen Hela. Once beautiful, Hela was now filled with jealousy and hate. She could not forget how Snow White became the fairest in the land. Every day, she whispered into her cracked mirror, "Soon, I will have my revenge." One stormy night, thunder roared above the cave. "Dunkov," shouted Hela to her sleepy servant, "bring me the chamberlain." The frightened chamberlain entered, trembling. "Yes, my queen? Tell me," she hissed, "who is the fairest of them all?" "You are beautiful, my queen, but Snow White is fairer," he said softly. "What? Snow White again?" screamed Hela, her eyes glowing red. "I will make a new magic mirror darker, stronger, and full of power." She opened her old spellbook and began her evil work. Gem leaves, pink moon buds, floating swamp stones, she read aloud. She threw everything into a boiling pot. Purple smoke filled the cave. "Boil for 20 minutes at 400 degrees, she cackled. From the bubbling pot rose a tall black mirror surrounded by floating stones. "I am the black mirror," a deep voice whispered. "What do you desire, my queen?" "Show me the forest of Snow White's funny little friends," Hela said. The mirror glowed and revealed a bright green forest full of joy. But soon the colors turned dark, and the air filled with cold mist. "Now," Hela commanded, "capture the dwarfs and trap them forever." The forest began to twist and whisper with dark magic. Meanwhile, in the mine, the 7 dwarfs finished their long day's work. There was Ace, shy, angry, silly, curious, jolly, and lazy. "Let's go home," said Jolly with a laugh. "No naps in the forest," said Angry. "We move together." Silly saw a shiny stone in a crow's mouth and ran after it. He climbed a tree, reaching up high, but the tree began to move. The branches wrapped around him. "Help! Help!" he shouted. His green hat fell to the ground as he vanished into the forest. Moments later, Curious smelled something sweet in the air. "Pie," he said, following the scent through the trees. He didn't notice the magic mist wrapping around him too. His yellow hat landed softly on the ground. At home, the other dwarfs looked worried. "Where are Silly and Curious?" "We must tell Snow White," said Ace. "She will know what to do." In the castle, Snow White was packing baskets of food and honey cakes. Prince Antoine smiled. "Be careful, my love. The evil Hela may still be near." "I will," said Snow White kindly. "I'll visit our friends and return soon." As she walked through the forest, a colorful bird landed on her shoulder. It chirped and flew ahead, as if asking her to follow. "What is it, little one?" Snow White asked, following the bird. The bird led her to a tree with a green hat hanging from a branch. "Oh no, this is Silly's hat," she gasped. Soon she found Curious's yellow hat on a thorny bush. "Something terrible has happened," said Snow White. She hurried to the dwarf's cottage and knocked on the door. When they saw her, they cried, "Snow White, our friends are missing." "Don't worry," she said. "We'll find them together." Snow White, Ace, Jolly, and Angry followed the colorful bird. Dark clouds rolled in. Thunder echoed across the forest. Rain poured down, but they didn't stop. They climbed higher into the mountains. In her cave, Queen Hela laughed. "Soon they will be mine." Inside, Silly and Curious were trapped in a hanging cage. "Let us out," cried Silly. "We didn't do anything." Hela smirked. You will stay until Snow White arrives." When Snow White and the dwarfs reached the mountain top, they saw the cage. "There they are," shouted Jolly. "We must save them." But Dunkov stood guard with the key around his neck. Angry whispered, "We'll need a plan." Snow White nodded. "You rescue them. I'll face Hela." Inside the cave, Hela stood before her black mirror. Well, she hissed. "Welcome, Snow White. Are you ready to disappear into the dark forest forever?" Snow White lifted her chin bravely. "You'll never win, Hela. Beauty comes from kindness, not from hate." Outside, Angry leapt onto Dunkov's back and covered his head with a sack. Jolly grabbed the key and unlocked the cage. Silly and Curious jumped out, shouting, "We're free!" Inside, Hela's eyes turned red, and her hands became sharp like knives. "Enough talk!" she screamed. "Now disappear!" Snow White stepped backward, right in front of the black mirror. "Into the mirror you go!" shouted Hela, raising her arms. But at that moment, the dwarfs rushed in to help. Silly jumped in front of Snow White, and the others pushed Hela from behind. She fell straight into the black mirror with a terrible scream. "No!" echoed her voice as the mirror cracked and shook. Dunkov ran inside, crying, "My queen! My beautiful queen!" But it was too late. The mirror pulled him in two. Snow White looked at the dwarfs and smiled. "It's over. Let's destroy this evil once and for all." Together, they pushed the broken mirror off the cliff. It fell into the dark mist and vanished forever. That night, they returned home safely. Silly and Curious told everyone about their adventure. They all shared a warm dinner with Snow White. Laughter filled the little cottage once again. Outside, the stars sparkled brighter than ever. Peace returned to the land, and all hearts were happy. And from that day on, no darkness ever touched their forest again. Snow White and her friends lived happily ever after. The end.